أوتوه من بعد ما جاءتهم البينات بغيا بينهم فهدى الله الذين آمنوا والذين اتقوا لما اختلفوا فيه من الحق بإذنه والله يهدي من يشاء إلى صراط مستقيم. أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم مستهم البأساء والضراء وزلزلوا حتى يقول الرسول والذين آمنوا معه متى نصر الله ألا إن نصر الله قريب. يسألونك ماذا ينفقون قل ما أنفقتم من خير فللوالدين والأقربين واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل وما تفعلوا من خير فإن الله به عليم. صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, Jazakallahu khairan, Brother Muhammad, for that beautiful recitation. I'm going to ask Sister Malaka Dirawi to come up. She's a high school freshman. She's an active volunteer at Moss Foundation. She is at the Al-Siddiq School. She's part of Mass Chicago and CIOGC volunteer. And she's a long-term student of the honor of having her come up and do the translation of the Quran. Sister Malaka.
Assalamu alaikum. The life of this world has been made appealing off the believers. Those who are mindful of Allah will rank above them on the Day of Judgment, and Allah provides for whoever He wills without limits. Humanity had once been one community of believers before they lost faith. Then Allah raised prophets as deliverers of good news and warners, and revealed to them the scriptures in truth to judge among people regarding their disputes. And no one disputed the scriptures except the very people who received them after clear proofs had come to them out of jealousy. Then Allah, by His grace, has guided the believers to the truth. Allah guides whoever He wills to the straight path. Do you think you will be admitted into paradise without being tested like those before you? They were afflicted with suffering and adversity and were so violently shaken that even the messenger and the believers with him cried out, When will Allah's help come? Indeed, Allah's help is always near. They ask you, O Prophet, in what way they should donate. Say, whatever donations you give are for parents, relatives, orphans, the poor, and needy travelers. It certainly is well known to Allah.
Assalamu alaikum. All right, this is an evening of celebration. We want to look back at what we've done and where we want to go this evening. Each and every one of you are here this evening to help us celebrate this, our 27th annual community dinner. What I would like to do now is take myself off the stage because we have two able MCs who will guide us this evening through the evening. I don't know why he ran away. Ali Qadri, I met Ali Qadri many years ago when we were working together at the American Quranic Association for Quranic Understanding. He was the one, he served a similar role at that time. And he will also be ably assisted by one of our own board members, Sister Salma El Zaldan, who is the at CPSA serving as head counselor. So I would ask at this particular time if you'll both give them a warm welcome as they guide us through this joyous evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. I want to welcome you all to this evening. Alhamdulillah, I have the honor to be your MC along with Sister Samah. And inshallah, we'll take you through this evening, and we want to be able to make sure you get fed and you have your satisfaction in the program and in the meal, inshallah. So what I wanted to do is, CIOGC has been an organization that we've seen serving the community for over 27 years. It's one in multiple areas, but in areas of civic engagement, interfaith, and member services, along with welfare services. This organization has done a lot in many different areas to rise to the challenge. And this is the evening that we have this theme for, is rising to the challenge. And how have we all been rising to the challenge? And everyone within our own ummah and our community and the community at large. How this all comes together, and this is our hope that you will be able to see this evening. And I'm going to ask Sister Samah to go ahead and tell us more about some of those areas that go beyond what you'll be hearing here. But something that I wanted to just highlight before we got right into it was Brother Abdullah Mitchell just got off the stage, and I'm sure you all have seen him on the television as well when the Jihad Squad was being attacked, that dubbed Jihad Squad. Brother Abdullah Mitchell stood up and gave words to be able to say how this is an embarrassment for our entire nation. And he has done this along with many other things. And this is something that we want to be able to make sure that we highlight and show you all this evening. Sister Samah.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So inshallah, before we start the program, we'll be showing just a short video of some of the services and programs and events throughout the year that we have done in response to things that have happened. As we all know, the New Zealand massacre and CIOGC's response to that. And what we did was to help our local masajids to prepare them for, inshallah, precautionary measures for instances like this. And then other events that we have gone over through the year as well will be presented in the video, inshallah.
But where are we going next? So, Farhan, can you start playing the video?
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome and thank you.
To understand what is a successful course that we as a community should take in buying CIOGC. Based on those conversations, the one thing that I really understood, we no longer define success of our community by the achievement of only one of us. Success must be defined by the achievement realized by all of us. To begin the expanded vision of the success, we started the journey with a strategic plan, a plan that benefited our community leaders, a plan that is still in the process of maturing, a plan collectively we shared as a vision for our community in the Chicagoland area. The community laid out a plan for the 5-year, and here are some of the initiatives that we want to take going forward that will build the community together, and here's the process that we want to start with. One of the plans that we want to start with, as you saw, is a security plan. We feel there's a need for us as a community to address this concern, and this concern was shared by all of you, community members, all of you as a community leader, to share that CIOGC, as your voice and as your hands and legs, should take this on and address this concern. So this is what we have done as first. How are we going to do this next step? Next slide. So we want to start with some of the training that we have already started. We want to enhance and excel some of the training program. We want to build the security protocol for all our members and the membership. We want to conduct the security training and the drills on the site. And we also want to collaborate with the Department of Justice and Homeland Security to do the risk assessments. And also we want to offer the basic trauma training and the first responders and address some of the safety concerns that we brought up. Alhamdulillah, all of you have stepped up and were part of the CIG security plan, and that plan was implemented in the time of Ramadan, as you saw in the video, but we are not there yet. I think the time has come. We need to excel in those areas, and this is what is going to take us to the next level on securing some of the security concerns that we have across the masajid. The second and foremost is advocacy role. As you know, the CIGC past 27 years that we have been leading your voice in advocacy, and inshallah we will continue doing that, being your voice in advocacy role. Advocacy role, first and foremost, is the census. Census is here, census is now, and this is the time that we need to step up and get us counted in the census. There will be more detailed program of this census presentation by our census chair Sabah, and I will not go into the details, and she will share some of that plan. And also we want to do a political engagement and political education. Why we need to do this? Why this plan is so important as a community that we need to step up and take this role for advocacy, and that's an education that we want to have for our community. And the second thing, that we have always done this, and this has become a signature event for CIGC, is Illinois Muslim Action Day. In the month of April 15th, that we have gone to the Springfield and had your voice in advocacy role at Springfield. In the past few years, as you know, some of the bills that we partner with our partners, one of the bills that we have passed was Senate Bill 3488, which was anti-registry bill. Alhamdulillah, that bill was passed based on all the efforts of CIGC and on all of efforts of our partners. So I congratulate every one of you who were part of it. And the third thing that we want to do is we want to enhance and collaborate with our partners. All these years that we have been collaborating with our partners, and we're going to continue doing that. The best way to collaborate is to stand shoulder and shoulder with our civic partners, our interfaith partners, our partners in where we're going to collaborate with them to deliver the results that we needed for our Muslim community. So what those partners are, the ISA is one of them, United Power, DuPage, and Lake County United, and we're going to continue building those relationships with us. The interfaith partners, we always continue with our dialogue, and I'm happy to see Father Bima here today. I know he's here somewhere, I saw him right there. Thank you, Father Bima. We have always done a Muslim Catholic dialogue, and we're going to inshallah continue building that dialogue where Archdiocese of Chicago and us sit down and have a dialogue. And these are the scholarly dialogues that we do. And then annually we have an annual iftar dinner where Cardinal do join us for that. So we're going to continue building those relationships. We have a dialogue going on with Muslim Presbyterian, Latter-day Saints, and Council of Religious Leaders of Metropolitan Chicago. These are our interfaith partners, and we're going to continue building those relationships with them. And further, we're going to cultivate our relationship with the government officials. I know many of you are here today. There's going to be an announcement for you, and we thank you for your partnership, and we want to educate our community to solicit support from these officials and those issues that we're going to be working with you for impacting our community. And those are our collaborating partners efforts that we're going to make. Last but not the least is membership services. As a federation of 60+ organizations and representing 500,000 Muslims, this is where we feel, as an organization, we have to provide the services for our membership. We have talked about a lot of areas that we can impact as a collective purchasing, but here are some of the areas that we want to define that they will help our membership. One of those areas are liability insurance coverage, building supplies, equipment, and the HR services for our members. These are some of those plans that we are in an infant stage. We are working on finalizing this plan. Once those plans are done, we will communicate as a community, and we will have an impact where you feel that why you need to be associated with CIGC, and that will impact why CIGC. So these are the significant initiatives that we are taking that will require some of our time, some of our resources, and we also want to ask you to be part of this. CIGC cannot do this on our own. We need you and we need your support. And I know in the past you have generously supported for these programs, and these are the programs that you, as the community leaders, have told us to take this on behalf of you. So we're going to continue building onto these programs, we're going to continue working on this initiative, and we want to thank you for your support, and we're going to continue building this relationship that we have started. Your engagement with CIOGC is very important to fulfill the Muslim community growing needs. And this is a time that we all need to stand together to address this. I envision the future that embraces all of our community, old and small, young and old, all ethnicities and all backgrounds. And I make dua to Allah that may Allah guide us to do what is right. May Allah give us the hidayah that we should be on the straight path, the path that was shown to us, that serves the humanity. And may Allah guide us to do better for our community. And with that, I want to conclude by thanking our team today who has put together this show, and they work behind the scenes so hard to make this program so successful. And I want to thank every one of them, those volunteers who have put this program together. Can I get a good round of applause for those volunteers who put together this program? Thank you for your effort, thank you for your dedication, and thank you for all what you have done for CIOGC. And I also want to thank our contributors today, the sponsors, the donors, every one of you, that we thank you from our bottom of our heart. And we take this seriously, the voice that you have given to us, and we're going to continue to build on to the voice. And I want to thank you for coming out tonight and be part of this 27th annual dinner for CIOGC. I want to conclude by thanking few that I have never done it before. First and foremost, I want to thank my wife Asma for all the strength that you have given to me. You have been my pillar, and I thank you for all of what you have done. And I could not have done without your support, so thank you. And I also want to shout out to my mentor, one of my mentors, Dr. Ghulam Asi, who's here today. Thank you for your inspiration, Dr. Asi. I've always looked up for your support. And I also want to thank my brother, Khadri Abdullah. I've always looked up for his guidance and support when he needed. Thank you for all of you who have supported me this year. And I will thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, Brother Ashad. You have really given us a great light into what CIOGC is for them as well. We have the Council General, who is Rasmat Wati Khalid, and then we have also with us the Council for Information, Social, and Cultural Affairs, who's Fajr Yusuf. So a big round of applause to them as well. And we have one more consulate that's here represented, another diplomat from the Consulate of Jordan, who's the Honorary Consul General, and that is Hassan Suisse. So a round of applause for them as well. I'd like to ask all of the diplomats just to stand up so we can acknowledge you all. We really appreciate you. I know they're all kind of throughout. If you can just stand up so that we can acknowledge where you are. And this is So this is definitely an honor for us that you took time out to be able to join us this evening. So without further ado, I'm going to keep going through the program. And what we have that every year CIOGC acknowledges one top Muslim achiever who is out there impacting the community at large and doing a lot of really good things. And so this year we have the honor to give this award to Dr. Asim Fadella. And he's with us this evening. Dr. Asim Fadella is our top Muslim achiever this year. He is the director of the Initiative of Islam in Medicine, an associate professor of medicine and emergency medicine, and a faculty member of the McLean Center for Clinical Medical Ethics at the University of Chicago. Dr. Padella is also a clinical researcher and a bioethicist whose scholarship lies at the intersection of community health and religion. He utilizes diverse methodologies from health services research, religious studies, and comparative ethics to examine the encounter of Islam with contemporary biomedicine through the lives of Muslim patients and clinicians, and in his scholarly writings of Islamic authorities. Dr. Padella holds a medical degree from Weill Cornell Medical College, having completed his residency in emergency medicine at the University of Rochester, New York. He holds a master's degree in healthcare research from the University of Ann Arbor, Michigan. And he also holds a bachelor's degree in classical Arabic from the University of Rochester. So without further ado, Dr. Hassan Padella, if you can make your way to the stage.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا بما ينفعنا وينفعنا بما تعلمنا وزدنا بفضلك العلم وتعليما إنك على كل شيء قدير. قال سبحانه وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لئن شكرتم لأزيدنكم ولئن كفرتم إن عذابي لشديد. صدق الله العظيم. Alhamdulillah, it's a pleasure to be here amongst you all here at the CIOGC Community Annual Dinner. Alhamdulillah, it's a pleasure for all of us to be here together. The verse I recited for you from the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. If you're amongst those who give thanks, we will increase you. وَإِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. If you're amongst those who show ingratitude, know Allah tells us that His punishment is very severe. So we should be in a state of thankfulness for all that we have. The fact that we have a community together, the fact that we have 60 plus members of the Federation of CIOGC, the fact that you and I can have a beautiful dinner tonight, and there are people around the world who don't have these bounties. So in all our states, we should be thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And indeed, I am honored and blessed and grateful to be nominated by people here and amongst the crowd to be the achievement award, to receive the achievement award this year. Alhamdulillah. What I thought I'd do for you in a few seconds or a few moments is to encapsulate the work I do. When I was coming in the door, I was told that I should inspire some young people who are here tonight. So I scrapped my talk in the beginning and I just turned to the back and said, let me say a few words that are a bit different. So I want to take you back to 2003. I went to medical school at Cornell, as you heard, and I was of a class who was participating that day in the relief efforts after 9/11. I was actually in class when 9/11 happened, and that day I took care of patients in the ED, and several things happened. Some of you know that story after that. But 2 years later, I was a medical student at a hospital where there was no Muslim chaplain, there was no imam visiting anybody, and I felt that perhaps I should go and visit some Muslim patients. So I would get a roster, I would go visit some Muslim patients, and it happened so that I was in one room visiting someone who was known to be Muslim, and adjacent to that room was another person who I didn't know, right? So you know in many hospitals they have a divider or a curtain, and the other side of the curtain was another patient. So I visited this Muslim and I was leaving, and that patient, he was about 20 or 21, stopped me. And he said, you know, who are you, what are you doing? And I said, I'm a medical student. And he said that I have no one visiting me, but I am also Muslim. His name, he was an African American Muslim, his name, you could not tell, was a Muslim name. No one had counted him as a Muslim. No one had visited him as a Muslim. As a patient on chemotherapy, he was not able to eat what they told him to eat because they had chicken and pork in it. But no one had provided him services, and as I said to you at that hospital, there were no Muslim chaplains. So my first point to you all is that Muslim health data, or data by itself, creates solutions. And the second point is that Islamic knowledge creates transformation. I'll say them again, and I'll come back to the story in a second. That Muslim data provides solutions, and Islamic knowledge creates transformation. So we have, I am sure, amongst us, many Muslim health professionals in this crowd. And if I were to ask you if you know the percentage of Muslim patients at your hospital, or if your hospital collects that data, I am sure you will tell me, I don't know. Because the fact is that the healthcare system does not collect data about Muslims. Unless you happen to know or you check a box that I am Muslim, no one will know. And for many of us, we know that our community members that you can't immediately tell I'm Muslim. And because of that, because of the lack of data on the healthcare system side, we have very few provisions for us when we are meeting our death. That patient was meeting his death, right? He just wanted to eat some halal food. He wanted to have someone visit and make dua. But there was no way, because that hospital felt, we don't have Muslim patients coming here. Why do we need to hire a chaplain? And the healthcare system writ large doesn't collect data on religious affiliation. So what I do, right, at the Initiative of Islamic Medicine, is I use you all. I've created a methodology for mosque-based health research. I came from Michigan. I remember Dr. Sahnoud. He came to an event in 2011, and I used to work with CIOM there, which started, right, when he came here, started CIOGC. After that, he said, you come to Chicago, inshallah, you will have many more mosques to do work with. And some of the masajid here know that I participated in workshops and collecting data so that we can actually create a platform for data-driven solutions. So this past weekend, the last 2 days, I've been at a conference called American Muslim Health Priorities. And we have a national funder, the Patient-Centered Outcome Research Institute, that has given us a platform to bring mosque-based data, create a toolkit so that we can now address Muslim health needs. So that's the work I do. The second point I said to you is that Islamic knowledge creates transformation. So that same patient, an individual, he had some 50-level questions. And I can tell you that the questions that he asked, many imams, I can tell you personally, many imams or chaplains would not be able to answer. And let me share a hadith with you. So they come to Sunan Abu Dawud, I know I have like 1 minute or 30 seconds. But in Sunan Abu Dawud, there's a hadith about an individual who was on a travel with Sahabi, and there's different ways of how he got injured, but he got injured. Some reports say that he was struck on his head. And over the night, he had a condition that made him have nocturnal emissions, and he wanted to make wudu in the morning, or do ghusl in the morning. But he said, can I do ghusl? He asked the Sahaba around him. They said, no, you must do ghusl, you can't pray, you can't do wudu. He made ghusl, and then he died. The Sahaba came back to Rasulullah and they said, this is what happened. And I want you to hear what Rasulullah said. قَتَلُوهُ فَقَتَهُمُ اللَّهُ. They killed him, may Allah kill them. They killed him, may Allah kill them. Then he said, isn't it enough that they did not know that they would ask? So tomorrow, in partnership with Bayan College and Darul Qasim and others, we actually have an Islamic bioethics intensive, where we try to get Islamic scholars together with health practitioners, with imams and chaplains, for us to learn the fiqh that is needed so that we can provide care, so that hadith doesn't condemn us, because many of us know that we don't have answers. So let me end with this idea. Think about that patient. If you were that patient, all of us are going to die. 80% of us are going to die in the hospital. 80% in this room will die in the hospital. No one knows you're Muslim. You need someone to come by. There's no chaplain to help you. You face an ethical issue. There's no data to say that the hospital provides the ethical consultant for you. Would we want to be in that state? So from 2003 to 2019, that is what I tried to satisfy. That our community of privileged individuals should be thinking about our end, and that we can provide for our communities a way that we have a voice, so that the hospitals around us in Chicago and those Muslim metropolises will provide services for us. That we are not those who are condemned by that hadith. Jazakallah khairan for this award. May Allah bless you all, and may Allah give us the ability to give thanks for all that we have.
If you could please come up to the stage. And the other valedictorians that are not in attendance, Shahid Zayed from Aqsa School, who's attending NYU. Sulaiman Sajid from CPSA, that's attending Boston University. And Yahya Hidayah, sorry, I'm not sure where he's attending. From Universal, excuse me. And next, we would like to move on with the next award. So I will introduce Brother Abdullah Mitchell, who will introduce our next award. Brother Abdullah.
Assalamu alaikum. I know who wants to hear another award when the bellies are growling, but bear with us. Have patience, sabr. A Muslim crowd share something with you. For the last 13 years, there's been an employee at CIOGC who has kind of been just like sunset, always there. It may come as news to some, but not to everyone, that this year, Rita Sutton is going to be retiring. Please, everybody, give Rita a hand of applause. And Rita, come down. I thought my opening remarks, I was going to say, Rita, 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 Rita. Because I really thought, I would like to ask my mother and father if they were still alive and say, wait a minute, did you put one of my sisters up for adoption? Because sometimes Rita reminds me of sister. You know that one that gets on your nerves? Well, that's Rita Sutton. So let me just read the inscription to try to embody what we feel about Rita Sutton. Dedication, perseverance. For 13 years, you consistently lived these virtues in service to the Council and the Muslim community. With lasting thanks and enduring gratitude, the Council of Islamic Organization. Rita, thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. It's been my honor and my privilege to have you for the past 13 years. It's with some trepidation that I'm leaving, but it's time. I've made so many people over these past 13 years, and it's just been an amazing journey. And I'm grateful for each and every one of you. In my office, Willa and Masood, and yeah, they look at me and say they run the other way when they see me coming. But, and I'd like to and Tabassum Malim and Dr. Sabir Salul and Suzanne Agnes for extra special support over these 13 years. Thank you all so much. I'm going to miss you, but I'll be back.
No direct lineage to Palestine. He has done everything he can to learn about the plight of the Palestinian people, and for that I thank you. Sorry, it's very dear to my heart, so give me just a moment. So, Dr. Mark Lamontel, as we all know, is the is host of BET News and was a CNN contributor, political contributor up until last year when he addressed the United Nations about the basic human rights that the Palestinians deserve. And due to that speech, He was unfortunately let go from that position, lost on CNN, but this just goes to show that what's right is right, and what needs to be said, and he has sacrificed a lot for social justice all over the world and for the Palestinian people. Dr. Mark Lamontel, as you all know, is a well-known author. He's a New York Times bestseller. He's authored many books, and he's currently co-authoring a special issue of the Journal of Palestinian Studies with focusing on Black Palestinian and transnational solidarity. So Dr. Mark Lamontel could have easily said, you know, Palestine is halfway across the world. I have no connection to it. I don't need to worry about what's going on there. Let me focus on what's going on here. That's easily said and done. But he took time to go walk the streets of Al-Khalil, the apartheid streets of Al-Khalil, walk the alleyways of Al-Quds, and get to know the people of Ramallah, amongst many other things. Not only has he done this, and has he learned about Palestine and what the situation is in Palestine, but he has grasped the language. I believe Dr. Mark Lamontel probably speaks better Arabic than I do. And everything that he has done should be an example that we set for ourselves and our children. That we here in Chicago, in the Chicagoland area, just within our community, need to reach out and do some social justice and work on social justice. Not just, you know, south side of Chicago, east side of Chicago. Let the government handle that. That's not our problem. Let's just focus on our community. Islam does not tell us that. Islam tells us to reach out and help those in need and do what we can. And this is exactly what Dr. Mark Lamontel has done. So without further ado, I welcome Dr. Mark Lamontel.
Assalamu alaikum. It is an honor to be here with you all this evening. It's been a busy year. It's been a crazy year in many ways, and amidst all the challenges that I have encountered personally and all of the political struggles that we've engaged collectively, one of the things that has made this year more bearable, more livable, more sustainable for me personally has been the support of Muslims in the United States and Muslims around the world. And so I have a great deal of gratitude to the Islamic community for that love and that support. My connection to the struggle for social justice in many ways is in fact rooted in my own journey, my own experience with Islam. I remember being 14 years old, and I was reading the autobiography of Malcolm X. And I haven't been the same since. You can't read Malcolm and be the same as when you started. Malcolm X's journey for me was an important one because it taught me what discipline could offer. It taught me what self-love could offer. It taught me what education could offer. It taught me what global understanding and global experience could offer. I read Malcolm and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know who I was supposed to be, but I knew that I had to leave the world better than I found it, because that's what our dear brother Malcolm did. I immediately went to Masjid Sheikh Muhyiddin, and for the first time uttered the Shahadatain. And I've been on a rocky road since. But at all moments I've understood that the best of what we do, the best of who we are, is rooted in our tradition. is rooted in our faith. When I stood up for the human rights, dignity, freedom, and self-determination of the Palestinian people, I did so because I believe in democracy, freedom, safety, and justice for everyone. I did so because I was rooted in a tradition of African and African-American freedom fighters who understood that none of us are free unless all of us are free. That understood that the humanity of everyone is interconnected. But as Muslims, there's a call as well. For some, particularly in Jerusalem, the call was to protect one of the most sacred sites of Islam, Masjid al-Aqsa. It's the first Qibla. It is a site of some of the most significant moments in Islamic history. But there's a more fundamental issue. And that is, as Muslims, there is a call for justice. There is a call for equality. There is a belief in the fundamental value of all human life, the sacredness of all human life that is being compromised in the moment. So any justice work that we do is rooted fundamentally in our faith, is rooted fundamentally in what we are taught. And so for me, the work we must do moving forward must also be grounded in our faith. That's what makes this organization so important. This work is anchored in the belief in all human life. That work is needed more urgently today than ever before. The world is bad, y'all. Ain't no easy way to say it, ain't no articulate way to say it. The world is messed up. If y'all weren't so religious, I'd say you use different framing. But let's just say it's messed up. Muslims are under attack. There's never been a moment in American history where Muslims have not been under attack. There's never been a moment in American history where Muslims have not been looked upon through the lens of xenophobia, Islamophobia, Orientalism, hatred, violence. Muslims have always been in there, whether it's the Moorish science temple in the early 20th century, whether it's the Nation of Islam, whether it's the global community of Islam, whether it's the Ansar community, whoever you are. Muslims have never been understood as fully American in this nation. So Muslims have always been outliers. And so the struggle to be Muslim in America has always been a struggle for full inclusion and full humanity. That's certainly an issue. But in 2016, November 8th, 2016, Americans had their own Nakba, their own catastrophe. Y'all might have heard about it, I don't know. This administration, this political moment at the national level has produced, no, it hasn't produced, it has spotlighted the lingering hatred of brown bodies, the lingering hatred of Arab bodies, the lingering hatred of South Asian bodies, the lingering hatred of Muslim bodies, and the enduring and undeniable hatred of black bodies. And so at this moment, we are seeing a rise and expansion of public policy that normalizes hatred against Muslims. Donald Trump lingers in the realm of fear. When we have a ban against refugees, it's actually a ban against Muslims. They don't need to call it a Muslim ban. They don't need to call it an anti-Arab ban. We're banning people from Egypt, Syria, Palestine, Jordan, Yemen, Somalia, Saudi Arabia, you cool. That's how you know they're about terrorism. Egypt, you cool. What's my point? My point is that we have normalized this. We have taken an irrational fear of Muslim bodies and brown bodies and black bodies and transformed it into public policy that makes it okay to say that I don't accept who you are because of what you believe. I don't accept who you are because of the color of your skin or the presentation of your body. We have normalized that, and what we have to do at this moment is resist that. We've shifted and really desecrated the language of terrorism and anti-terrorism in such a way that we can identify any act committed by a Muslim as terrorism and any act committed by a white American as not terrorism. We We have decided that the only people worth identifying as terrorists are those who look black and brown, who identify as Muslim. At the very same time, that the most pernicious acts of domestic terrorism are committed right here in the name of white nationalism. We have ignored and normalized white nationalism against the backdrop of this current public policy moment. We must change that reality. But if we are to really be talking about justice, we can't just be talking about Islamophobia. We cannot just be talking about anti-Arab and anti-South Asian violence and discrimination. We must be talking about broader issues of poverty, broader issues of educational inequality, broader issues of educational access. We must be willing to tell the truth about social inequality at all turns. We cannot just look at issues that affect the Muslim community. We must look at issues that affect other communities, because quite frankly, they intersect. And it's at the intersection that we must rise to the challenge. What does rising to the challenge mean? It means that we must engage in deep forms of listening. We must have the courage to listen. Listening is not just a physical or physiological act. It's not just the literal act of hearing other people's voices. Listening is a deeper commitment to the struggles of others. It's a deeper commitment to the narratives of others. It's a deeper commitment to the pain of others. Listening is a moral and ethical commitment. I can't listen merely to the challenges of the Muslim community if I don't listen deeply to those who are experiencing anti-Semitism. Unless I listen deeply to those who are experiencing homophobia and transphobia. Those who are other abled or disabled and who are being engaged differently in the world because of that. I gotta listen deeply to that stuff to understand how I can navigate the world. But there's also a political strategy to this. Please understand that listening deeply to people in different communities allows us to grow not just in our moral and ethical vocabularies, but also in our practical action. I used to work at Fox News a long time ago. Stuff for the Lord. And they used to have meetings every Monday. Monday at 10 o'clock, they'd be on the 5th floor. I wasn't invited to those meetings. They sent me to the 4th floor. Have a bagel, Mark. Great snacks right out there. And in those meetings would be people who didn't necessarily see the world the same way. You'd have evangelical Christians. You'd have homeschool advocates that didn't care about what the evangelicals were talking about. They just wanted to make sure they could educate their children at home. And you had people who were Second Amendment advocates who didn't necessarily care about homeschooling. They just wanted the right to bear arms, any arms, as big arms they wanted, any place at any time without any regulation. There were other folks who were war hawks. They wanted to make sure that they could intervene around the world in very particular ways. Some were free market fundamentalists. They didn't care about guns. They didn't care about Bibles. They just wanted to be able to put everything on the market. But they understood that if they organized and worked together, they could have a stronger political unit than if they organized separately. So by Monday night, when I'd be debating Bill O'Reilly or Sean Hannity, they'd all have the same talking points. They'd all be using the same stats. They'd all have the same facts. They'd all have the same bad jokes. They all had all the same conversation. And it was like he was debating the same person each time. Why? Because they knew that they were better organized. Even if they didn't agree on every single point, even if they didn't have the exact same ethical and moral vocabulary, even if they didn't understand that they were going to sing the same notes, they understood they needed to sing in the same key. They understood that unless they did this work together, they couldn't go anywhere. But so often we allow our internal divisions, our internal slices of difference, we allow the small differences among us to divide us such that the enemy can separate us and we can never mount a strong and principled defense against evil. So let's listen together and figure out how we can build. Can you imagine if somebody who doesn't even believe in dinosaurs can organize with somebody who only cares about guns, and somebody else who's appealing to science say that black and brown people ain't even human. I mean, they don't even have the same philosophical base. And they ain't able to organize together, and we're like, well, no, they interpret that to be quite wrong. And so I can't join an organization with someone like that. We must be willing and able to organize and build together. If you're doing school reform, and you're doing education reform, and you're doing prison reform, there's no way to have prison reform or prison abolition or prison or anti-prison movements if you don't address schools, because there's a direct pipeline between schools and prisons. Don't tell me that you're trying to address Islamophobia so you don't have time to worry about militarism, because the weapons of militarism are being directly aimed at Muslim bodies all around the world. We ain't got time to divide. Instead, we must hold on to the rope of Allah and not separate. We must organize. Listen ain't enough. You gotta do something. If you don't remember anything else I told y'all tonight, remember this. Biggest problem in the world today is that there are too many people who don't do anything. I mean that. What good is to have all this genius in this room, all these ideas, all this philosophy, all this work, if we don't do anything with it? We must organize. That's what makes this such an important moment. We must join organizations. I didn't say start organizations. Everybody want to start an organization. Everybody want to run an organization. But what does it mean to join an organization, remain committed to an organization, even if you're not in charge of it? Even if you don't get the microphone, even if you don't get the headline, even if you don't get the byline, even if you don't win the vote, even if every time there's a difference of opinion you don't win, you still got to stay. You still have to remain committed to the organization. Otherwise, it ain't about the organization, it's just about you. Now, Muslims aren't uniquely challenged by this issue. You go to any black community in America, you find Second Baptist Church, Third Baptist Church. It was just Baptist Church. And somebody get to park the choir. Somebody said somebody greens was nasty. Next thing you know, it's Second Baptist, Third Baptist. But we must learn from those mistakes and find ways to hold on to one another. To organize is to organize around principles of justice. If we're going to organize, we must be willing, again, to listen to those who are most directly affected. But what I find is too often, particularly within our community, and right now the hour I'm talking about is within the Muslim community, too often we still have an Arab-centered ideology, even in the context of the United States, in such a way that we marginalize black voices. We erase black voices, and we make them believe that somehow they are insufficiently Muslim. I mean, it ain't just here, it's everywhere. There's a certain way that we normalize, and a certain kind of Arabophilia that we gotta be honest about. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to enter Al-Haram al-Sharif in Jerusalem and been stopped. Arabs go right through. Those who they read as properly Muslim, regardless of how they dress, go properly through. Me, I got to recite 3, I'm not exaggerating. It's like, give me the Shahadatain, okay. Give me the Fatiha, okay. Recite Surah Al-Baqarah. Man, they're coming back. They're coming back from Fajr, I'm still sitting there. I'm halfway through. And so, I'm only half joking, that's the worst part. We have to listen, particularly in these United States. If we're talking about doing work in the United States of justice, particularly in vulnerable communities, particularly in Chicago, how are we going to ignore the fact that the most formative moments of Islam in the United States have come through black bodies, through black organizing, through black work? Islam in America is rooted in black Islam. We got to be honest about that. And I've been doing this long enough to know when people don't like some stuff. I can see who clapped and who not. I don't care. The Prophet Muhammad said, speak the truth though it may be bitter. So we must be willing to speak the truth even if it is bitter. And the bitter truth is that there is enough division inside to last 1,000 lifetimes, just as there's enough work outside to last 1,000 lifetimes. We don't choose between the two. We work on the self as we build the outside world. How do we build the self as we work on the outside world? We do this organizational work, but we tell the truth when we see it. We speak out against racism when we see it. We speak out against gender injustice when we see it. We speak out against all forms of inequality when we see it. We organize locally. That means that we got to vote. We got to do this work. Voting, you can't vote your way to freedom. Voting is not a silver bullet. Voting won't fix all the problems, but it'll fix some of these problems. There's certainly a problem in Washington Avenue from a certain orange-haired person in D.C. public housing that we can get rid of if enough of us organize and vote and make a different choice. We can do that in 2000. We don't have the luxury of sitting at the sideline and talking about how we don't like the policy, but we don't organize to change the policy. We sit here happy when people, members of Congress and members of our local councils and orders and aldermen come out. We ask them to do us a favor by serving us. We need to demand that they be here. We need to shout and show love to the folks who are here, and we need to hold accountable ones who are scared to stand behind the Muslim community, scared to stand next to the Muslim community. We got to tell the truth to them too. Raise the bar. Stop giving your vote just to take a picture with you. But instead ask, what policies do you have to support our community? We must demonstrate global solidarity. We must understand that the organizing work we do here has to extend to Lebanon, where there's a protest right now. It extends to Palestine, where there's an ongoing occupation since 1967. It extends to Syria, where people are being killed on a daily basis. It extends to Ferguson, where black bodies are being executed by the state. It extends to Baltimore and Flint, where there's lead in the water and our children are dying every single day. The challenge of this work is not to choose, but rather to say that a baby in each of these places is worth the same. This is the work we got to do. For family, it goes both ways. So often I see calls for solidarity from the black community, but I don't see solidarity toward the black community. Don't ask me to help end the occupation if when I go to Detroit or Chicago, there's an occupation of black communities by store owners who don't even want us in there. Don't ask me to fight Islamophobia if we're not willing to wrestle with anti-blackness around the globe. And don't ask me to fight injustice under the premise that injustice only comes in male bodies. We have to talk about violence against women. We have to talk about the inequality that women experience in every sector of public life. We got to be honest about that too. And we can't just appeal to tradition as an excuse to be patriarchs. We got to call each other out. We got to be honest. And we got to organize. And finally, family, we have to be willing to be courageous. We have to be willing to be courageous. It is easy to speak out against Donald Trump. I mean, who don't? Even his own administration does. Give his kids another 3-4 weeks, they'll be doing it too. As soon as they learn how to spell, they'll be right on Twitter. Forgive me, I'm struggling. But we have to be willing to be courageous and speak the truth even when it is inconvenient. We can be mad at George Bush in Iraq, but what are we doing about Obama's drones in Yemen and Afghanistan? We gotta tell the truth about that. Even when it's uncomfortable. We can't speak out against Islamophobia, but then become cowardly when it's time to speak out against misogyny and sexism. We have to be willing to be courageous. We gotta be. We cannot cower every time we have a critique of Israeli policy by being called anti-Semitic, but we must speak out against anti-Semitism. We cannot be quiet as synagogues get burned down. We cannot be quiet as Jewish brothers and sisters are harmed. We have to tell the truth about policy, but also defend Muslim brothers and sisters, and Jewish brothers and sisters, and Christian brothers and sisters. We have to be courageous. We have to be willing to protect the vulnerable wherever they are. That is our calling as human beings. That is our calling as citizens. But to be sure, that is our calling as Muslims. And so, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there is no superiority among any of you. Neither the Arab over the non-Arab, or the non-Arab over the Arab, nor the white over the black, or the black over the white, except in piety. Our superiority, our health, our rise, our expansion, our growth, the measure of who we are as human beings will not come from who we are by race, by ethnicity, by faith, but it will come by the work that we do. It will come by our adherence to our principles. So when we leave here today, we must commit and recommit to doing this work. In many ways, this is the choir. We must go out and expand this message to those living in our communities. We must expand this message to our families. We must expand this message to our donors. We have an organization here that we must commit to and recommit to. That means that we can't just support with our mouths and support with our feet. It means we gotta reach that pocket and support with our dollars. I'm not asking y'all to give all your money. I'm asking you to give something that can support an organization that is committed to expanding and growing the work that's being done here. And finally, I need everybody in this room tomorrow to commit to doing something. To commit to supporting some cause, to commit to feeding some person, to clothing some person, to reading to some person, to showing solidarity to some person. And if we do that, we will be well on our way to producing the world that is not yet. And the world that is not yet is a world that is filled with justice and equality for all. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And give them an entirely different path. So, this is something that we want to make you really understand. So I know one thing that's on everyone's mind is dinner, and I promise you that this is coming up shortly. We did have a little bit of that, but if I can get everyone's attention back on the stage so that we can continue with our program, I would really appreciate it. So next up, I would like to introduce Sheikh Hassan Ali, who is the Imam and the Director of Religious Affairs at the Mecca Center in Willowbrook. He has been a graduate of the prestigious Leicester University. He's got many accomplishments that are in his bio that you can read. Currently, he's a PhD candidate, and he has taught at the University of Chicago and Rice University. I'd like to ask Sheikh Hassan to come up and give us a few words and take some of our time. Inshallah, after that, we will leave the world. We will not delay this. I appreciate everyone's patience. Jazakallahu khairan.
So let's start by feeling the CIOGC. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. Usually we recite Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening chapter of the Quran, to seek the tranquility and the peace, to seek the guidance of God. But also usually we recite the opening chapter of Surah Al-Fatiha before starting a new task and a new challenge. And raising funds for the CIOGC is a challenge for me. And I hope that you will make it easy tonight. I will start with quoting one of the hadiths of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that actually was narrated earlier in one of my shuyukh here in Chicago of theology, Dr. Scott Alexander, when he narrated from Abu Hurairah from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he said that he who does not thank people does not thank Allah. من لا يشكر الناس لا يشكر الله. And though I would like to thank all of you for coming here tonight to support the CIOGC. But let me tell you something. Coming here tonight, enjoying this beautiful gathering of different people from different backgrounds, different organizations, from different faiths, with politicians and leaders, educators, professors, brothers, sisters, is not enough. We need to take one more step to be committed to the dedicated work of the CIOGC and its staff, to all of the organizations who are members of the Council of the Islamic Organizations of Greater Chicago, to the chair of the council, to the executive director of the council, to the rest of the staff and the board members, to all of our great leaders who led this organization since the beginning, to the founders of the CIOGC, and to all of you. We have to continue and to take one more step towards our commitment to the CIOGC. And I know that we could think about all problems and struggles in the entire world. But Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam started with a small community in Mecca and a small community in Medina. Without taking care of our community, we cannot take care of anybody else. Changing the entire world should start from changing our community here in Chicago. So I know that we have no much time because we are late already. I'm hungry, just like you. And I wish that you can help me to allow the food to come faster. We would like to start with an organization or an individual who believe in the CIOGC and its work, who believe in the importance of the CIOGC and its programs and projects, who believe in the sensitivity of our time, especially for Muslims, and who will commit to donate $15,000 to the CIOGC. May I have the first hand for $15,000 from an organization or an individual or individuals. Maybe one table can come together and say, you know what, maybe $1,000 from each one and we can do that. First hand of $15,000. I promise you I will make it as short as possible, but please help me a little bit. I stood here many times raising funds for different organizations, including our Masjid Mecca Center. But every time I stand here and I see this logo, I know it's a challenge. And I don't know why. This is the umbrella organization for all of our organizations. And without the work of the CIOGC, we cannot really do a better job here. So, first hand of $15,000. Do we have the first hand of $15,000 from an organization or an individual? Okay. I received here from the Islamic Center of Naperville, a $15,000 from ICN. Give them a hand, please. That's good. If we have one, it means that we can have two, the second one. May have a second hand, number two. Second hand here in this position is great, sometimes even greater than the first one. You never know. So another hand for $15,000. One more hand for $15,000 from an organization or an individual to support the work of the CIOGC. May we have it? Another hand for $15,000. Bismillah. Again, it requires some sacrifice from us if we really believe in it. It's not enough just to come here and to show our support, which is great, but again, it's not enough. May we have it? Another $15,000. I received also the Mosque Foundation, mashallah, has donated $15,000. Mashallah, give them a hand. These are the leaders of our community, the great organizations who believe in the work of the CIOGC. Even though these organizations by themselves are great, they have thousands of members, mashallah, but they believe that there's still need for the CIOGC in Chicago. I received also a $15,000 from Downtown Islamic Center, mashallah, give them a hand. We have three $15,000. We have another one. Another $15,000 from an organization or a masjid. If you're sitting in a table when your organization sponsored a table, please talk to each other, take a decision, make a very quick board meeting, and decide now to contribute to the CIOGC. They have another one for $15,000 or $10,000 or $12,000. 10 plus. They have another hand for $10,000 or $15,000 from any organization or individual to support the CIOGC. You know, the security issue is very important. And what happened really, that I can tell you that from my humble experience working with the CIOGC through Mecca Center, that they're doing a lot of great work, professional work, to train our staff, to train our board members, to train our imams, to train our security guards in the highest professional manner in this regard. Many meetings and activities, inviting people again and again to talk to us about the plans and what to do and what not to do, you know, from uniting the communication and so many other things. And again, we really need this. I mean, there's no such an organization in Chicago that I'm aware of that could bring all of these people with their different backgrounds in one room like this, like tonight. So I have a $10,000 from MCC. MashaAllah, give them a hand, please. Now we can open for any amount of money. Any amount that you can give and contribute. You have volunteers, I believe, around you with pledges. Please, if you're a volunteer with pledges, please raise your hand. Find them and tell them how much you want to contribute tonight. How much is your masjid or your organization, or you as an individual, or maybe as a table. Maybe you can talk to each other.
Some facts about the operation are not told. So I would like to share some of them with you. First of all, the operation is to ensure the security of Turkey and the Turkish citizen. And also, it's designed to liberate the local population from the oppression of terrorist organizations and to lay the ground for the safety return of the is also PKK and YPG, and they have been attacking Turkey and Syrians in Syria. So please, brothers and sisters, please make the distinction between Kurds and these terrorist organizations. So, as it is told in the media, this fight is not against Kurds. Kurds are our siblings, we here for ages, for many years already, and Kurds are part of the fabric of Turkish society. So I just want this fact. So please understand that this is a fight against terrorism, and we would like to help help Syrian friends, Syrian brothers and sisters in their places. That's why we would like to establish a safe zone bordering Turkey. This is not a fight against any ethnic group in Turkey or in Syria. This is okay. Thank you very much anyway for having me and then giving me the opportunity to some facts about this. And then I would also like to emphasize one more point before I leave the stage. Well, as you know, Turkey is providing shelter to Syrian refugees, 3.6 Syrian refugees. And we have spent $40 million for the well-being of that Syrian guests. So I think you would understand that being a big spender, humanitarian spender, we will be doing this, for good reasons. Thank you very much for listening to me and giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Welcome you to this dinner tonight. I know I've been given this 5 minutes, and I've been told in this 5 minutes I should give my best pitch for civic engagement and how CIOGC helps. So I'm going to try and bring my 500 pages in 5 minutes and keep
didn't go to masjid often. I didn't really associate with Muslim people. Being a police officer, you're kind of in a void when it comes to, you're stuck between. As a Muslim police officer, you're stuck between your traditions and your cultures, and you're stuck between the traditions and the culture of the America, of the police department, of what it means to be an American. So it's kind of a very lonely place to be. So most police officers, let me tell you this, table number 16 was given to the police department. Look at table number 16. How many police officers do you see sitting there? How many do you see? You see 2. How many are finding 10? Why are they not here? Why are they not here? Because 10 minutes before it's time for them to come here, my team called me, and my guys told me that they caught a guy with a gun and they weren't able to make it. So they have to call their wives and tell their wives who are getting dressed up, who have the kids ready, that we're not going to make it. We're not even going to make it to that dinner where we think we're going to sit down and enjoy a meal with you. That's what police officers do for us. So I'm very passionate about this, and I please give the 2 officers that are there a round of applause. Because those 2 officers there are in that video. Those 2 officers there took their time out, drove on their gas, took time with their families to try to do something for what happened on March 15, 2019. What happened March 15, 2019? Who knows what significance that day holds? March 15, 2019. Christchurch, New Zealand. 51 Muslims lost their lives that day. What did we do? What did we do? Do we remember the date? That is why I'm here. I found myself as a police officer thinking, I've got to do something. I've got to do something. This innocent Muslim people lost their lives. And I have to do something about what can I decided, I'll reach out to FCC. I'll see maybe they need any help. I went to FCC. I wanted to talk to them about hospital intruders. So I show up at FCC and I introduce myself and I say, my name is Sayyid Qadri. And then everybody started looking at me like I was a hospital intruder. Qadri? Your name Sayyid Qadri? Yeah, I said Qadri. And then I started realizing by the looks I was in the room, like, man, these people are already ready to deal with a hospital intruder. You got Qadris, you know what I'm talking about. But anyhow, I was introduced to CIOGC through FCC. And it was through the genuine interest of Rashad Bhai, of Abdullah Mitchell, that I felt empowered to continue to see what we can do about this problem. And what did that happen? What did that turn into? What happened for me? We ended up starting a grassroots volunteer organization. Over 200 volunteers. We were able to create a brotherhood. And I was able to be proud of being a Muslim and be proud of being a police officer. CIOGC gave me that. I didn't know anybody. I was nobody. I was not vested in my community. CIOGC gave me a platform. They had the resources to get something done. They had the resources and the platform to amplify the efforts of one person who felt like they wanted to do something for the community, but who realized how powerless you are by yourself. And that is truly the essence of CIOGC. It's a unifying body. It's a ummah builder. It's a community builder. And Dr. Lamont Hill spoke to this. You can't do this by yourself. And I realized that quickly. So what I'm here to tell you today is this. This has been a personal journey. This has been a relationship building journey. This has been a team building exercise. This has been an organizing and a community exercise. But also, as it was said, for truly in giving, we receive. And I realized that when I saw the look in my wife's eyes. When I would go every night during Ramadan to a masjid and try to sneak in past security, to show them that where the loopholes are, to go there every single day of Ramadan to see if I can be security so we can be a little bit better, so maybe we can save someone's life or something better. That's when I realized. When I saw my son standing up and talking about what to do, my 8-year-old son, that's when I realized that truly in giving we receive. So I ask, on behalf of myself, on behalf of the police officers that are serving us, on behalf of CIOGC, who is organizing us and giving us a platform to have a voice, I ask for your support. And please, I feel that truly giving is to be received. Thank you for your attention and have a great night.
Jazakallah khairan, Brother Sayyid Qadri, for that impassioned speech about how giving to an organization and a community can make such a difference. How one person who had the means and the expertise in his special realm to be able to give towards that. And we all have something that we can all contribute to the greater good. And as Dr. Hill reminded us, we should all get up and try to do something, take action towards something. Today's theme has been rising to the challenge. And the challenges that we all face as a Muslim Ummah are many. And it's time to unite and rise up to those challenges together as individuals united in one cause, or many causes. There's a couple acknowledgements that I wanted to do, and inshallah, I will get off so you can enjoy your dinner and you don't have to deal with hearing my voice anymore. So there's a couple brothers from the ICCB that we wanted to acknowledge, Brother Mumtaz Khan and Brother Faisal Mahmoud. And last but not least, I would like to acknowledge one of our donors who gave $10,000 to the Islamic Foundation of Little Park. So thank you for that. A round of applause for them again. All right, go ahead and enjoy dinner.